What is this thing called global warming people are all talking about? Is it all nonsense? What if it's real? How would that affect us? What if it got too hot outside to even be able to leave your own home? I'm here to tell you global warming is real, and its effects on our planet are only going to get worse if we don't do anything about them. Don't believe me? Believe the group of over 2,000 scientists from all nations who have been studying climate change since 1988, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, also called IPCC. Global warming is defined as the increase in Earth's temperature over time, and the increase is due to all the greenhouse gas emissions released into Earth's atmosphere. The greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and water. U.S. automobiles alone emit more carbon dioxide than all but 4 other countries' emissions: the U.S. itself, China, Russia, and Asia. What happens is as the increased amount of these gases are released into the air, they continue to build up on our ozone layer. The thicker the layer becomes, the less heat that the sun produces can leave the Earth because it is trapped by the growing ozone layer. And this is why Earth's temperature is just getting hotter and hotter. Since 1901, the average surface temperature across our 48 states has risen at an average rate of 0.14 degrees Fahrenheit per decade, 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit per century. Average temperatures have risen more quickly since the late 1970s, 0.36 to 0.55 degrees Fahrenheit per decade. 7 of the top 10 warmest years on record of the 48 states have occurred since 1998, and 2012 was the warmest year on record. Worldwide, 2001 to 2010 was the warmest decade on record since thermometer-based observations began. This is a shocking fact because the IPCC concluded in 2001 that climate will rise between 2.5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of the 21st century. So, if temperatures between 2001 and 2010 were the highest ever, and scientists who specialize in temperature change say things are only going to get hotter, what's that mean for us? That means we must do something about this increase in our Earth's temperature before it gets too late. It is not only the U.S. where temperatures are rising. Global average surface temperature has risen at an average rate of 0.15 degrees Fahrenheit per decade since 1901. However, since the late 1970s, the United States has warmed faster than the global rate. You might be saying to yourself, so what if the temperatures are rising? I can stand the heat. No. In the future, this extreme heat on the Earth will be able to kill people who try to spend too much time outside, making it impossible to stay outside for long, even moderate periods of time. Diseases will be more easily spread because they spread easier in the heat. Global warming is already affecting some parts of our Earth. Ice is melting worldwide, especially at the Earth's poles. This includes mountain glaciers, ice sheets covering West Antarctica and Greenland, and Arctic sea ice. Researcher Bill Fraser has tracked the decline of the Adelie penguins on Antarctica, where their numbers have fallen from 32,000 breeding pairs to 11,000 in just 30 years. Sea level rise became faster over the last century. Some butterflies, foxes, and alpine plants have moved farther north or to higher, cooler places. Precipitation has increased across the globe on average, and spruce bark beetles have boomed in Alaska thanks to 20 years of warm summers. These insects have chewed up 4 million acres of the spruce trees. In the future, if we do not take action, sea levels are expected to rise between 7 and 23 inches by the end of the century, and continued melting at the poles could add between 4 and 8 inches. Hurricanes and storms are likely to become stronger, killing more people than previous ones have. Species that depend on one another may become out of sync. For example, plants could bloom earlier than their pollinating insects become active. Floods and droughts will become more common. Rainfall in Ethiopia, where droughts are already common, could decline by 10% over the next 50 years. Less fresh water will be available as well. If the Quelcaya ice cap in Peru continues to melt at its current rate, it will be gone by 2100, leaving thousands of people who rely on it for drinking water and electricity without a source of either. Diseases will spread, such as malaria carried by mosquitoes. Ecosystems will change. Some species will move further north or become more successful. Others won't be able to move and could become extinct. Wildlife research scientist Martin Oberg has found that since the mid-1980s, with less ice on which to live and fish for food, polar bears have gotten considerably skinnier. He fears that if sea ice disappears, the polar bears will as well. That's not good. I like polar bears. With all these devastating defects of global warming, shouldn't we do something about it? The planet and drinking water of our future generations is at stake. Earth's climate has always gone through changes, but for the past 1,000 years, it has only been slowly rising. We can put a stop to this, however, and help to start lowering the temperature of our planet. Here are a few ways we can try to prevent global warming. 1. Make sure you recycle newspapers, glass bottles, tin cans, and magazines. Reuse your shopping plastic bag instead of getting new ones each time you go to the market. Place a brick or something heavy into a plastic bag and place it into your toilet drum. This will cause it to fill faster and use less water each time you flush. Donate your unwanted clothes. Turn off the faucet when you finish or when you are brushing your teeth. Turn off electrical devices when they are not in use. Use energy-efficient appliances. Install a low-flow shower head, saving water. Carpool to work or school if possible. Ride your bike instead of driving. You'll get your daily exercise while you're at it. Have showers instead of baths. Plant native and or drought-tolerant plants. Some grasses, ground covers, shrubs, and trees do not need to be watered as frequently. I will do my best and make these easy and necessary changes for our planet. Will you do the same? Now, I have a couple pictures to show you. A graph and then some ice melting pictures that I found online, and here they are. This is a graph that I found. The northern hemisphere is this lighter colored line, and this is the degrees Fahrenheit over here, and as you can see, since 1880 to 2000, temperatures throughout the northern and some of the southern hemisphere have only been rising, and recently, since 2000, they've been rising a whole bunch. Not good. This is the Arctic sea ice loss in September of 1979. Look how much ice there was up there, that white stuff. And in September of 2007, the ice has declined by like halfway, like 50%, a 50% decline. So, as you can see on the top when there's a lot of ice, bottom when there's only like half the ice. Third picture, Greenland ice sheet melt. That's Greenland. That's the Greenland's ice in 1992, and that's in 2002. That's almost declined by like 50% as well. Maybe not quite 50%, but as you can see, a lot of the ice is gone, and that ain't no good.